Hi, second grade. Today we will be learning to stay safe online. It's okay to share personal information online, but it's not okay to share private information. We are going to learn the difference between personal and private information. Private is something that you should keep to yourself. It should only be shared with people you trust, like your parents or your teachers. Private information is often connected to a specific person. For example, no two people in the class have the same full name or the same phone number. Think about what kinds of things we should not tell a stranger. For example, your full name and your address are two examples of private information. Pause the video and think of three more examples of private information. Some examples you might have thought about are your phone number, your birth date, photos of yourself, email address, or password. These are all things that are specific to you, so they are private information. You can't share them without checking with your trusted adult first. Why do you think it's important to keep this information private? Pause and think about it. Well, it's never safe to give out private information to people you don't know, since it could be used to trick you or put you in an unsafe situation. You should always ask a parent or caregiver before you give out private information to anyone. This applies to people you don't know in your physical world and people online. How is sharing private information online the same as telling it to a stranger in person? Pause and think about it. Well, when you share information online, it could be viewed by people that you don't know, and these people would be strangers. We know that most people in real life and online are good people, but some people are tricky people, so we don't want to share our private information with them. This can also go for signing up for something. A lot of times, kids have a game or an app that they want, and they go to sign up for it and asks for things like private information. You cannot do that. You can't sign up for it until you check with your trusted adult. We know that online is using a computer, phone, or tablet to visit a website or app. Remember, most people you meet online are good people, just like most people you meet in real life are good people. But online, it's easier for people to hide who they really are. You need to be extra careful when you talk to people you don't know online. If it's a tricky person, they will be very tricky about how they get your private information. For instance, they might try to figure out your birthday by asking a question such as, "What's your astrology sign?" Well, that narrows it down to 2 months for them. And then maybe later they might ask a question. They might say, "I'm into numerology. What birth date, what number is your birthday on?" Well, if they had asked both of those questions, now they've got the private information of your birth date. So you always have to be super careful and think if the information could identify you. In the live session, we played a game of thumbs up and thumbs down to make sure we know what's considered private information. And you can test your knowledge as well as we go through the slides. So I want you to think on each one. When I give an example, you're going to think if it's okay to share, that would be a thumbs up because it's personal information. Or if it's not okay to share, that would be a thumbs down because it's private information that can identify you. So let's give this a try. How about your favorite ice cream flavor? That would be okay to share. Nobody can track you down based on the fact that you like chocolate peanut butter ice cream. How about what you ate for dinner last night? That's also okay to share. Nobody can track you down based on the foods you ate. What about your home address? That is not okay to share. Your home address is private information. You don't want any tricky people to know that. What about your best friend's favorite movie? That's fine to share. We know that we want to keep our private information private and we want to keep our friends and family's private information private. But this is not private information. Nobody can track your friends down based on their favorite movie. It's just personal, so it's fine to share. How about your mom's phone number? That would be private information. Phone numbers should not be shared without permission. What about your password? That's definitely private information. Your teachers should know your school passwords because they are responsible for your safety at school. And your parents should know your home passwords because they're responsible for your safety at home. But no one else should know your password, not even your best friend. Let's pretend that there's a new app called SongTube that allows you to create your own music. Guts, one of the digital citizens, has permission to use the app, but he's being asked to fill out a form first. Guts needs your help figuring out what's okay to share. As you review the form, I want you to think of the things that ask for private information that we should not share until we get permission from our trusted grown up. Pause the video to think about what parts are private information that should not be shared. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. You should not have shared your full name, your birth date, a photo of yourself, your home address, your school name, or your parents' phone number. Those are all private information. The personal information ones are not X'd off. A nickname, nobody's really going to be able to track you down based on that. Favorite songs, types of music, and whether or not you play an instrument. Nobody can figure out who you are based on those things. But the X'd off things are the private information. If you wanted to sign up for this app, you would have to go get your trusted grown up. They would have to look through the website to check the confidentiality and how they're going to use your private information. And then they could tell you whether or not it is safe to fill this out. So you never share any private information without checking with your trusted grown up first. Today we talked about what information is private and why we shouldn't share it online. Now you're going to show what you know. Please return to Canvas to take your private information quiz.